Hello, everyone. Tom Baker here from Steering Wheel Nation, SWN Media, and today we are talking SWN Truck Series Sim Racing, and we have with us the winner of race number one of our series that we held at Daytona, virtual Daytona, of course, back in mid-March, and this is Daytona Dalton Kilroe, and there's a reason we call him that, because he, in fact, is from Daytona. So hometown boy made good in our first event at Daytona. We'll get to that, but I'm curious first, Dalton, give us just a minute or two about your background with racing. What got you interested in the sport to begin with? And then how do you go from that to sim and build all that sim experience that got you the win?
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me. This
Of
is
course.
definitely fun. I think there's a good little hint back here on the door. Big Dale Jr. fan, and obviously growing up in Daytona, it's kind of inevitable that you would be a race fan. Whole family's been race fans for years. I know we're going to the the series is going to Talladega here, so just a lot of racing, watching it while I was growing up. Can never really afford to actually go do it, and once I found out about iRacing and looked into it a little over 8 years ago now, which is it makes me feel old to say that. Um, I saw, hey, wait, I can actually do this, and scratch that itch a little bit. And 8 years later, here we are.
That's it's crazy to think about, isn't it? That how you can, in this day and age, you can get interested in the sport. I mean, when I got interested in racing at 5, when my parents took me to the local track, my next step was Hot Wheels.
Yeah, that's a good step.
It was a great step, and now here we are, all these years later, and you can literally virtually race, and it feels to some degree like the real thing. It's crazy the way technology has allowed us to do that. So give us a brief history of your sim career and your accomplishments on the sim.
Well, as I did mention, I've been doing this for 8 years, so I've got quite a bit. Haven't really done too much on the official side of things.
Okay.
Under the actual official sessions, so my rating is probably a little bit lower. It's hovering at about 3,800 right now, but that's after hardly doing officials for like the last 5 years. But just been mainly focusing on league racing, trying to get the racecraft better. And I know I've had quite a few league championships, quite a few league wins. Some of them I've had to really fight for. Some of them have kind of just been here you go on a silver platter.
Gotcha.
It's just been a wide variety of leagues, and just trying to see where I stack up, since I haven't really been doing that over years, and just see where it takes me.
Well, it's taken you to the SWN Truck Series, and we're thankful to have you in our series, and we're excited about that. And you did a great job winning Daytona, and it was interesting because we had 12 cars that started the race, and you'd think on a big track, 12 cars, what kind of race are we going to get? How are the drivers going to handle themselves? All of that, and this all is fairly new to me in terms of being on the inside of it. So. I really went into this not knowing what to expect, but I thought all you guys did a fantastic job. I'm curious though, because it seemed like you had a strategy right from the very beginning, and you and a couple of the other guys, like Finn Robinson and Dawson Guzik, just kind of hooked up together and kind of managed it. Is that how it actually played out, or am I just reading too much into it?
You're spot on there. If I'll call back to another show, yes, the three of us had an idea, and we wanted to see kind of how the first 5-ish laps of the race went, because like you said, this was first race of the season. Not many guys were out there, so we just wanted to kind of gauge what everybody around us was going to do, how they're going to race, if somebody seems like they're the iRacing version of Carson Hocevar or not. And just kind of chill just a little bit. And that kind of worked out for us, obviously, because we were able to sit back, keep our equipment safe. The other two, so Dawson and Finn, the two of them, I don't think they have as much experience on the sim as I do, but I know from doing so many races at Daytona.
Yeah, I know Finn's been doing it a while. So,
well, I in terms of oval racing, maybe for Finn, because I know he does a lot of road racing.
That's all he does, actually. Yeah. It's mostly oval.
Yeah. But I know, in my experience with Daytona, once you can get to some green flag pit stops and the field gets kind of spread out from people not necessarily realizing you can go without taking tires and you can just take fuel, or just making a different strategy call, how you get in and out of the pits, all of that will just create a gap. And then if your line is hooked up better than the other groups, they're just not going to catch you. So that's kind of what our game plan was just to make it to green flag pit stops and then just kind of see where we can go. I mean, if we could pull away, which we did towards the end there, that's perfect. If we didn't pull away, they would just come right back to us and we would just drop right back and try it again for the next one. But no, all three of us executed just about perfect, and just were able to stay hooked up, stay disciplined to each other, and just keep pushing and just build that gap just a little bit until it was too late for anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, watching it from the announcer's booth, as it were, it was a really interesting strategy that you three were playing, and it was obvious to me with Finn to start with, because Finn dropped way back early, and I knew he was trying to play some sort of a long game. Dawson had a couple of scary moments during the race, but he managed to overcome those, and you just really, it seemed, had a pretty flawless race overall. Like it seemed like of the three of you, it seemed like the whole race was as or more flawless for you than maybe the other two, but you all ended up kind of working together, and some of the other guys like Grayson Greaves and my brother Kevin, and there were some of the other ones that led quite a bit and worked together well, but in the end it was like you three just had the best strategy on the day.
Yeah, and it may seem like things work perfectly. All it takes is one caution or somebody not holding their brakes if they crash, if I'm in the back, and there goes everything. It looks like, oh, why were you in the back? Why weren't you in the front trying to stay up in front of it? So in my experience from doing all of this, riding at the back and just letting whatever chaos happen in front of me and just not having anybody behind me to where I could slow down, not worry about somebody else not slowing down and running me over, that tends to be the safer option, especially when I don't know who I'm around. But if I'm around people who I know and I trust can race clean, sometimes I might just want to go up front. In terms of things just not going wrong, that's just kind of knowing what window you have to where you can operate in, especially on those green flag pit stops. Because if you brake just a little bit too late and you lock up a tire, you're in the grass. If you brake too early, you're giving up half a second, then that could lose you the draft. So it's fine tuning what you need to do in order to just execute it, as be safe with it, but still be aggressive at the same time. And I think some of the guys, like you were talking about, I think they just either don't know or haven't practiced it as much, and that led to everybody getting spread out as much as they were.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because I listen to you talk, and the realism of this is crazy because I feel like I'm talking to somebody about an actual race and not something that was done on a computer. And it really, for me, this is so interesting on this side of it to sort of understand how the strategy is similar, in both senses, sim and seat, if you're not just on the game to play around. You do have to develop that sort of racecraft and strategy. Now we go to Vegas on May the 1st and then Charlotte on May the 8th, back-to-back shows.
Should be some good ones.
So what can we expect and what's different? How do you approach Vegas differently from Daytona?
So Vegas and Charlotte both are going to be tracks where you're going to want to take care of your tires in the first 10 laps. Mainly Charlotte, because I know that track is I can't even English right now. Charlotte is very abrasive, and if you overdrive the truck in the first 10 to 15 laps, you're going to be dropping like an anchor. You might be faster by half a tenth for those first 10 to 15 laps, but end of the run, you're going to be 2 to 3 tenths slower, and your truck's just not going to be handling. So you're going to be more prone to mistakes. It's probably going to be pushing tight. So, I mean, it's the same thing at Vegas. You want to take care of your stuff. That I think that's just going to be the way people have to handle a lot of these tracks, is just take care of their tires and figuring out how they can run at like 80 to 85% of what they can do, and have that 80 to 85% be faster than everybody else's 80 to 85%. Because, and like you were saying with the realism of the sim versus real life racing, the one thing I will always say is, while we are obviously not in an actual car, the racing is still real. You're still turning the car. Everything is the same, except you're not in the car. There's no gravity. There's no G-forces. There's no heat. You don't have to physically see the person after you get out of the car, which that's probably why some people make some bolder moves than they probably would if they were in a real car. It's a bit of that keyboard warrior stuff.
Yeah.
But for some of us that can't afford to go into real racing, because God, that's expensive.
Yeah.
We kind of have to treat this like it's the real thing, because if we don't, then how are you going to scratch that itch?
Well, that's a great way to look at it, and you're right. I do think some of the aggression that we typically see, which we didn't have in that race, I really felt like we had a great group of drivers. I was so thankful for all you guys, because I thought you all raced each other with respect, and it made it into a one caution race at Daytona with 12 cars. Shouldn't have been an entertaining race, but I feel like it was very entertaining because you guys actually just used your heads and played the strategy and did what you did, but you weren't driving all over each other. And it made it fun to watch, because I really didn't know how it was all going to turn out until the waning laps of the event.
Yeah. And another thing with Daytona, especially with it being first group for everybody, or first race for everybody in the group, like I'm saying, a lot of the first 5 to 10 laps just kind of gauging who's really just going all out, who can hold the line better than others, who you need to make sure you give a little extra room to. And I think because there was only 12 vehicles on the track, it's a lot easier to be like, oh, I can't pinch that guy because he's gonna put me up in the fence, or vice versa. I can get down on that guy's door because he's holding that line nice and he's not, swerving all over the track. So I feel like it was just a lot easier for everybody to just evaluate the rest of the field at that point.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure, and looking forward to going forward. Is there anybody? I mean, typically this is where we get the sponsor question. And I love the quarter panel of your truck, and we're not gonna, obviously not gonna say it, but it's F Cancer. Now tell me the genesis of that, but then is there anybody, sponsor or mentor or anyone that you just want to give credit to for helping you in your career so far in the sim?
So with that, the sponsor side on the quarter panel, I'm pretty sure just about everybody has either known somebody or been related to somebody that's had an issue with cancer, and everybody hates it. It's, we need to find a way to stop having it take lives, because my grandfather on my dad's side, they had found, I forget, I think it was stomach cancer or something. They were like, no, he's fine, because he was gaining a little bit of weight, water weight, something like that. And then they were like, yeah, he's fine. We'll just keep an eye on him. And then 2 weeks later, he was gone. So they kind of dropped the ball there, but that just shows you that anything with cancer is you got to take it serious, regardless of how well you think it may do. Get second opinions, get screenings, get all of that, because it just sucks. In terms of mentors, towards the beginning, I actually had started doing an open setup league on Saturday nights. They don't run anymore, but they were doing the Legacy ARCA car, which is like the 2005 Busch Series car. Pretty fun, actually, especially open setups. But Mark Arthur, who's also been on the sim for quite a while, I want to say 3 or 4 years before I even got on, maybe even longer. He's kind of the guy that was in the ear, just helping figure out adjustments, figure out different ways to drive the track based off what I was feeling, ways to give feedback to somebody if they were making setup changes, and just mindset for some of these races. Because I know, like, my main thing, and a lot of people have the mindset of, I want to lead every lap. Yeah. But end of the race, it doesn't matter if you led 99% of the race. It only matters if you led the last lap. And if you do that, then that's what gets you the win. So it's channeling that aggression, getting to that 80 to 85%. He's the one who put all of that in my brain and drilled it in here. And eventually I started to think, man, I know better than this guy. I can start beating him. And then I would start to push it a little bit. And then I'd close the gap. And then his car would be halfway down the backstretch in about 5 laps. And I would be like, where did you get that speed? He's like, I didn't change anything. You were the one that lost it. So just the way I approach races is mainly from him. I've had a lot of teammates since that have just kind of reinforced that idea, and just because I've tried to also do what Mark did and explain that to other people, and other people have tried the same thing and they realize, that actually works. So they've all just kind of started to just do something similar to what I do, and that's greatly just helped all of them. But no, Mark was definitely the first one to really drill that into my brain.
That's fun. And great lessons for sure. And again, just fascinating how it is real. I mean, it's just, you're not in the car, as you say, which is, again, a great way to look at that. Okay, I'm always curious, with drivers. I mean, we see them, we know them in their fire suits down the track. I'm always curious, who they are off the track. So, tell us a little bit about who Daytona Dalton is. What do you do for work, and hobbies or whatever? What's life like for you away from the virtual track?
So for work, actually, there's a couple colleges right by the actual speedway. I work at, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
Yeah.
I work in the mailroom there. I've been there just literally, I think just Tuesday was my 1 year of starting there. It's been fun. Just gotta try to not fly again, because I see some of these students and some of the things are just like, okay, God, like, going off on a complete tangent here. But some of these students will send a package to the college. They won't put their name on it. If they live on campus, they're supposed to have a box number. They don't put that box number on there either. So they just put some random text. Like, I had somebody, their package just said Mark. There were like 10 marks in the system. Like, where do you want me to send this? But yeah, that has me scared for flying in the future.
Yeah, detail's important when you're flying.
Yes, detail is very important, especially if, four little numbers in your last name.
Yeah.
In terms of hobbies, for a while, I was actually bowling. I haven't been doing it in think 4 years. Because I had a pretty major surgery, pretty brain surgery. I had I don't know if the scar is still visible on camera, if the quality
Yeah, a
kind of
little bit,
shows
yeah.
it, but it's all
Yeah.
right up in
Yep.
here.
Yep.
They had actually found it was a benign tumor that was
Ooh.
on the hearing and balance nerve on this left side of my head, and they had to cut it out because it was about half the size of my thumb.
Wow.
And it like doubled in size in like 6 months from when they found it. So they were just like, oh,
that's
yeah, let's get that out.
Yeah.
Since then, I've had some issues with like tension headaches in my neck and all sorts of stuff. And I just can't bowl the way I used to. I was averaging like 210 before the surgery.
wow.
Never bowled a 300, but I got pretty darn close. I bowled 299 actually.
Oh, wow.
Just like months before the surgery. And it was like, oh, well, there's a pause on there, and then nope, not doing it again. So yeah, another thing that some people will not be able to really ever tell is I'm actually deaf in my left ear because of that whole surgery.
Okay.
So if there's a car to my inside, I'm not going to hear it until they're about to send me up the track or something like that. So if there's any issues on track where I just turn left into somebody, I didn't know they were there.
Wow. Well, that's crazy, and obviously, despite the post surgery setbacks that you do have, happy that you rebounded as well as you did, of course, because those things always could go way worse, right? So grateful for that. And so, what leagues? I mean, I know obviously you're running with us. What other leagues are you currently active in on the sim? And how are you doing so far?
So I'm actually toning it back just a little bit. I'm running with you guys. There is a league that I've been in since about the start of my iRacing career on Sunday nights.
Okay.
It's called the Blazing Pedals Racing League. And we're on season 11 right now. And we've been doing pretty much, 30 plus race seasons. Pretty much just the NASCAR schedule, but we modify it a little bit. Take out some tracks that they go to twice, throw in some other stuff. Like we've had Lucas Oil, we've had Twin Ring Motegi, which that wasn't really that good of an experiment because only 6 cars showed up to that one.
Boy.
But no, we've played with a bunch of stuff, and we're actually running the trucks as well. So it's been pretty fun. I co-founded and was helping run on Mondays a league called the High Tide Racing League.
Okay.
They're also going to the trucks. Everybody's going truck racing now. But no, High Tide Racing League's fun on Mondays. I was doing race control for 2 separate leagues, one on Wednesday nights. It's called the Bandit Racing League. They're doing like late model stocks on a bunch of short tracks, like half a mile and under. Like they were just at Stafford this past week.
Okay.
The league on Saturdays isn't racing anymore, but they were doing the now O'Reilly car. I'm never getting used to calling it that. It's the Xfinity car for life for me. But there was that, and then on Thursdays running the Xfinity car and the Virtual Velocity Racing League. We just had an off week, but we were through 14 races. I think I've won 6 or 7.
Wow.
And that's not me trying to play the 6-7 joke.
Yeah.
My brain has not rotted that far. There's not much to rot, if I'm being honest. But that league's just kind of been fun. We've had some guys show up and then not show up, so the competition towards the front kind of changes a little bit. But when everybody's there, that's when the racing's insane.
Gotcha. Well, you're still pretty active, even if you're cutting back. We're happy to have you, and of course, we've talked about the short track league that we're putting together as well for this year, modifieds at the Oswego Speedway on pavement, and we'll be cranking up a big race for that here soon. So hopefully you'll be a part of that too, and would look forward to having you. We appreciate you being with us with the SWN Truck Series, Dalton, and we do look forward to Vegas and Charlotte to see where the season goes for you here. The competition, I'm sure, is going to be pretty tough, and I think everybody now knows who you are, so they know
I'd
that
hope
you're
so.
going to be one of the ones to beat. So look forward to the next few races and the rest of the year with you, and thanks for coming on and talking to us.
Thanks for having me. And I do just want to let everybody know I've got some prior plans on the 8th for Charlotte. My sister's graduating college, so I will be watching her walk that night.
Congratulations to her. That's a big
so Charlotte is a free pass. Every other race, get ready. The warning's been set.
Congratulations on Daytona. Look forward to the rest of the year. That's Dalton Kilroe. For more great content, it's steeringwheelnation.com, at SWN Media on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and of course, Inside Groove Pit Pass. If you want to go racing with us, our premium club, Inside Groove Pitpass.com is the way to do it. Just go there and subscribe. Your subscription is your entry fee, and we'll have a bunch more coverage like this as we continue forward here, get to know all the drivers and such. So going to be a great season of racing online with us, we hope. Until next time, I'm Tom Baker. Thanks for watching.